Okay, the recording has started. So let's start with the folder structure. Let's start with the folder structure. If you look at VS Code, if you look at VS Code, we have a couple of files. We have first of all we have the config. No, actually we have the tools. We have the tools folder. This folder contains a console. This console is where this is what links everything in our. This is where when the compiler runs, this is where it starts. So when it comes, it reads the tools, it gets this to require environment, and then inside environment, it will get other things. But this is where the compilation starts. Again, down here, this is where you're supposed to write your tests, your test code. Instead of kushinda kuandika test all the time, you can write your tests here and then just be adding them, alafu sasa you test your code. It's easier that way. Binding.pry is for testing, so hii itabaki tu hapa mahali iko. Again, as I said, the require relative queries this environment.rb. So if I go to environment, I see other requirements that are there. So for you to do this, you have to have installed bundle install, which I haven't done. So bundle install. Uh-huh. Bundle. Okay, so it's okay. Yeah, all of these are just dependencies, making the program aware of the dependencies that are there. And then require app. What this does is it tells everything that is inside this app folder uh, to be available to other resources within your program. So when you say require relative and then you pass down a relative link, that means you are passing it, you are requiring it specifically. But if you say let's say require all, hata kama ungeandika require peke yake, and then pass in the name of what you want to require, it will make whatever you're passing here available throughout your program. That's why hapa wamesema bundle require bundle stroke setup. So this will be available everywhere throughout your program. Same as this, ni vitu ni different kidogo wameongeza all. So that's the only difference, but generally it will be available through the program. Again, we have an app folder. This app folder has three files: article RB, author RB, and magazine RB. I want to believe, yeah, it's recording. I'm using Screencastify to record. You showing how to do code challenge? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just trying to explain it here. Okay, so now I believe everyone the has gone through this README and knows the requirements and all of that. So what I will do is I'll assume everyone has gone through all of this. So I'll just start with this. Ama, does anyone have a contrary opinion? Any contrary opinion? Okay. So then I'll go on. Nobody's responded. So if you want to check whether the binding.pry works, you can come and just run Ruby, then pass in the relative. Okay, the terminal. Ama the zoom in the terminal. Ama then is that okay? Is that okay? Ni zoom in gani? Okay. Okay, let me just add them pass. Okay, so Wasuma says it's okay. So to see whether the tests the binding.pry will respond. When I say binding.pry, it's inside this console huku chini ndio hii hapa. So if I pass in the location to this console, so I come and write tools, then / console.rb. Yeah, it's running the tests. So at this point you can test your code. So that's what you want to do. If you want to get out of this session, you can do exit, exit, or if you want to come out forcefully, you can do Control C. Oh no, Control D. Yeah, Control D. If you want to come out forcefully. So let me clear this. Yeah. Now I'll start here. Yeah. So the topic is initializers, readers, and writers. So the author. So when they write here author, they mean. Oh, by the way, there's someone I forgot to send the link to. Yes, then you can remember hapa. Did Ivy say she wanted to join the meet? Okay, someone kindly send the link to Ivy. I thought I had. I don't know whether it was her. Kindly someone send the link to Ivy. Ivy Sifuma. Okay, so now, uh, so author. So when you see author here, it means the author file. So I'll go to author, and then they tell me the author should have a method. This hash means a method, an instance method. So initialize name, just initialize name peke yake. Let me close this. Initialize name peke yake. So if I come and look at it, it's already been done for us. Mi sijafanya hii. It's already been done for us. So an author is initialized with a name as a string. So this is what it does. You pass in a name and then it assigns it to this name here. So that's okay. At all, if anyone has a question or if I say something contradictory, you can also correct me. I am not a great public speaker. So if I say something wrong, you can also correct me. Yeah, so now, yeah, this is done. An author is initialized with a name as a string. This is okay. So if you come and try it, uh, if I want to come and write author, author, what am I, author one equals to author dot new, then pass in a string hapa ndani, call it author one. This is a string. Hata nimeweka the space just to show it. So if I do enter, it has created a new instance called author. And if I want to access the name, I can come and say author one dot name. Yeah, then it brings back the name of author one. Okay, I'm just using author one just to be easy to keep tabs on whatever you are getting. So instead of kushinda kuandika hizi tests here, because as time goes by utajikuta ukiandika like 10 tests here, and that's counterproductive. So instead of doing this, that's why wame denote here an area, write your tests code here. So I would come and write this author one here. Let me copy it, paste it here, and then if I exit this binding.pry, I run it again, I can come and call author one because already iko hapa, it's inside the file, it's running. So I can come call author one. You see it's already responding na hata sijaandika hii hapa because it's getting it from here. To that point, I think we are golden. Let me just copy a couple. Let me just create like author one, author two, author three. I'm not using real names. I'm just using easy authors to keep tabs, to be easy to keep tabs, which author you're referring to. If you want to, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. You can do whatever you want with your program. But for me to easily keep tabs, this is what I do because I easily forget here. So now, if at all I come and call, let me exit. If I come and call author two, if I run this again and come and call author two, it will respond. You see here the value is author 2. If I come and call author 3, it will also respond. Hizi zote si kuandika hapa, I wrote them in the tests. So it's also accessing all of this. So that was just to show you why, for those who had issues with the binding.pry. Yeah, that's what technically there's nothing else I've changed in the program. Tuliona nikianza a very new document, and so I just wrote my tests here. There's nothing nimechange. Hata binding dot nini require pry. I don't even know it's written, but it's if it's testing, it's testing. Don't reinvent the wheel. Okay, so now that's we are done with this. We are done with this. Then the second is saying a name cannot be changed after it is initialized. So that means after mtu amesha has already put in the name, this name, the person is not able to change. So the catch would be to change here from accessor to reader. Just that. And we're done with this. I'll go to the next. So author method name returns the name of the author. Here I think tumesha test, because if you come and call all of this, they respond. If you call author 3, it responds. If you call author 2, it responds. And if I want to access the name of an author, so I can just come and write name, then it responds. So this test ndio hii. This test ndio hii. So to that point, we are done. Next, we are going to do the magazine. If anyone has a question, you can just raise up your hand or put it in the chat. So next, we have a magazine. Inside magazine, we have a method, an instance method called initialize, and then it takes in two things: the name and the category. So I would go to the magazine and then check. So I have this initialize, and it's taking whatever they're saying, the name and the category. Then it's assigning it. So meaning wameshatufanyia some work here. The reason why they're doing this is to show you the ropes. Yeah. Ndio uanze kuandika on yourself. So hii ya kwanza tu na ya pili think ndio wamefanya. The rest you start teaching by yourself. So now a magazine is initialized with a name as a string and a category as a string. Ndio hii tushafanya hapa. This is already done for us. So let's thank the dudes who did this. Then the name of the category of the magazine can be changed after being initialized. So where if you want to change, if you want to read and write, or you want to get and set, hapa unaandika. This is they're using attribute accessor. When you use attribute accessor, that means you can do both. You can read and write. But when you use reader, that means you can only read. You can only read. If you're using writer, that means you can only write. But if you're using accessor, you can do both at the same time. So this is already done. The name of the category of the magazine can be changed after being initialized. So if for example, if I exit this, run it again, and then I want to change the name of author 2. So I would come and say author 2 dot name equals to let's give it a string, give it something like let's just give it a random string. Yeah, then I do enter. Okay, there's a problem. Unidentified method name author 2. Author 2 dot name equals is there something I'm doing wrong? Is there something I'm doing wrong? Hey, what are we doing? Okay, so magazine. Okay, let's do this. If it doesn't want to hear that, let's do the define. Then write name. Then at name, we will do add name, and then do another method for define name. Name equals to, then pass in whatever, not even equals to name, then pass in whatever you want. So you'd come and write here anything, string or something. So then set, now this is a setter, so set name to string. Let's try this. Exit and then run it again and then run this. Oh, ama mimi naandika vibaya. Kidogo. It's been a while since yeah. Yeah, it's auto saving. Yeah, it's auto save. Kwani nimesahau kuandika getters and setters. What is going on? Yeah. It should. Setters setters in. Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh yeah. Pole. Yeah. Pole. Yes. Yeah, that should be the case. Yeah, if I wanted this to work, thank you, Nani. I had totally hadn't seen that. So whatever tunangangana to change is author, but I was looking at magazine. So if you want to change the author, you'd come and change this reader to accessor. Accessor. So if we run this should work. Exit Ruby, then author two. Okay, yeah. Sasa E may change because now it's an attribute accessor. But if we do reader, like how the question wants us, reader, it will not allow us to change. Yes, no, in a letter error. It's the same command, but in a letter error because upper ni reader. Reader only writes. It can't read. It can't write. So yeah, thank you, Lina. So next is where were we? As a string, we've already done this. The name and the category of the magazine can be changed after being initialized. So the magazine upper, if you have accessor, that means you're really good. So if you want to test it, there's no need of V anymore. Let me just comment it out. Uh, for us to test our magazine, we can also create instances for our magazine. Remember, this is the console.rb. This is where we're writing our tests. So I'll call this magazine one, magazine one equal to magazine dot new 10%. Okay, remember, magazine takes in two things. It takes in a name and a category. So I'll put in two arguments. So the first should be a name. So the name of the magazine would be, I'm just being generic here. So I'm just write magazine one, magazine one, space one. So the reason why I'm putting the space is for people to differentiate between this magazine one and this magazine one. This is a variable. This is a string. This is whatever we are passing to this to make it an instance. Yeah. So then I come and do comma. What the category? So I'll also write category one. Category one, space one. Yeah, the space again is to prove that it's a string. So I'll create a couple instances of this. Control C, V, V, V. So I've created three magazines. I just want to rename them. So this is two. This is two. This is two. I again change this to magazine three. This is magazine three, and this is magazine three. So if I want to test it, let me exit this. I then run it again. So if I come and call magazine one peke yake, it should respond because it's an instance. So if I come and write magazine one, nimeandika vitu zangu pole, magazine one, yeah, it's responding, and it gives you the information it has. It's giving you the properties that it has. So it has a category called category one, and it has a name called magazine one. Hii tu ndo tumepass down hapa chini. It's nothing out of it's nothing gotten from elsewhere. It's just here. This is what it's getting. So if I want to also run magazine two, it responds with its specific properties, category one, category two, and magazine two. If I call magazine three, it also responds with the same values in your tumepea. So this is why I wanted to do everything different. Okay, not different, use generic names. So category three, if you call magazine three, category three responds. So if I tell you you have to use generic names, like for example, New York Times, at some point you might get confused. Hence the generic names. Now, if I want to access, for example, the name of magazine 3, I can just call that name and it responds. So I think up to that point, we are good. I'll move on. If again, if anyone has a question, chat or just unmute and go ahead. Okay. Next is the name of the string of the magazine can be changed after. Oh, so it can be changed. So if it can be changed, that means you're using attribute accessor. So if I were to change the name of magazine, see, I've done magazine 3 dot name here over here. I've done magazine 3 dot name here over here, and it responded with the magazine name. But now, what if I want to change it? I can come and do equals, then pass in a string that we want. So I can come and write just stupid text again, just pass in stupid text, then enter. Unaona ime reset. But now the difference between this kind of test and this kind of text test, this is hard coded. So anytime una restart your program, this will still be there. If I do this, it doesn't change the functioning of this. Haitakuja itoe mali imeandikwa magazine 3. Haitakuja itoe hii. Haitakuja itoe hii and then write whatever we've written here. This is just for testing purposes, and it's temporary. This is temporary. Let me call it, lack of a better word. This is temporary tests. This is permanent tests. Okay. Again. Okay, we are done with that. So we've seen the name and the category can be changed. Let's go to the next. So magazine. If you call the name, it returns the name of the magazine, which you've already done. Magazine method category returns the category of the magazine that we've already done. Then magazine.all returns an array of all magazine instances. So to do that, we don't need this anymore. Let me remove this. Yeah, let me remove this. I'm checking the recording kama inaendelea. Okay, sawa. So now is someone speaking? Okay, so now magazine.all returns an array of all the magazine instances. You realize when they're writing all, they're putting it to the dot. A dot means a class method, not an instance method. A hash means an instance method. All e dot means a class method. This is a class. This is an instance method. This is a class method. So the difference between the two is an instance method utaiandika tu hivi normally, but a class method you will start with the word self dot all. So even without writing anything concrete, I can just come and write here name. I can write here name at name. See whether if you call it, it will respond. So magazine dot name, magazine dot all. Sorry. Remember, it's a class, so we start with. We are no longer referring to an instance. Now we are referring to the class. So the class you start with a capital letter at the front, and then enter. Oh, Polly, I'm running it. I'm running it in the wrong place. Yep. No, I'm recording. I'm recording. The only difference is I'm using Screencastify. Screencastify acha kurecord after 30 minutes. For free users, it only records up to 30 minutes alafu ina close your recording. So I have to start again. So now I've recorded for 24 minutes. After 6 minutes itaniambia your session is over, but I can also record another one. So after I'm done with all of them, I can maybe compile them. I don't know if I'll get the time to compile them and just send like a YouTube playlist or something. Yeah, so after 6 minutes itaisha. That's the only difference. OBS is free, but nimeshinda kuiconfigure. Javans knows, but sidhani kama ako on call, ama maybe kama ako anaweza nisaidia bado. Okay, okay, shower, change layout, pin this, layout, spotlight, okay, open. Okay, so let's go ahead. When it finishes, I'll see, and then I'll correct it as soon as possible. So if I call this magazine.all, it should respond. So magazine.all, it's responding with nil. Why is that? Why is it responding with nil? Okay, sawa. I just wanted to check come in a respond, but since in a respond, okay, you can see it's responding, but it's not the correct thing. So let's do what the question requires us to do. Returns an array of all magazine instances. So what you would do is you would create an array, an empty array, and then push all the magazine instances inside that array. So I would come and do at all magazines, then give it an empty array. You are at liberty to call this anything you want, and it should be double at, because it's an instant, it's a class instance. Yeah, so you're at liberty to call this whatever you want, but I'm doing this for easy remembrance. So hapa chini, once a magazine is successfully initialized, I want it to add that instance inside this array. So I would come and do at all magazines, then shove in self. What am I writing? Self. Shit. Karibu ni exit. Where is messages? Okay, so Timothy saying, I have always crammed it all. Now I know. Oh, sawa. Sawa. Okay, I'm doing this for, okay, maybe I know I have a hard time keeping tabs of things. I have a hard time keeping tabs of things. Jota, if you look at the examples that we were doing earlier, walikuwa natumia all peke yake. So I tried this method tukifanya tuko challenge. I mixed up everything. Utapata method hii array ya magazine na array ya author zimecombine, and you don't know where it imecombine from where. I had to restart the whole project because of that. So afadhali tu zipate very distinctive names. So all magazines kwa author, if we're told we're required to do this, we'll create all authors ndio ikuwe unique. So that's done. Now if the question says if you call the class method all, it should respond with everything that is inside the array. So if I come and do at all magazines, it should respond with an array of all the instances we have created, and hizo instances ni hizi zenye tuko nazo hapo chini, the magazine 1, magazine 2 and magazine 3. Let's exit and then do this again. Yeah, so it's responding with an array that has three things. It has magazine 1, this is magazine 1, magazine 2 and magazine 3. The reason why it's responding